For 20 years, he had protected the campus. The grass, the trees, the flowers. Marcus never complained, never caused problems, quietly did his job. But that day, protection took on a different meaning. Now he wouldn't just protect plants, but people. And for Marcus, this wasn't something new. It was just using his old skills for a different purpose. Every story you're about to hear was earned, not given. Welcome to Earned Stories. Tell us in the comments which city you're watching from, and if you believe stories of invisible protectors like Marcus deserve to be told, don't forget to subscribe. Riverside University's campus was one of the most beautiful places in the city. Green lawns, colorful flower gardens, shady trees. This place that housed 15,000 students and 2,000 staff was Marcus Rodriguez's life. Marcus was 52 years old, medium height, with sun-bronzed skin from decades of outdoor work. He had worked as a groundskeeper at Riverside for 20 years. Every morning he arrived at work at 6 a.m. sharp and tended to every corner of the campus until 5 p.m. Rain or shine, winter or summer, Marcus was there. Students barely noticed Marcus as he moved through their world. He was just the man working in the background, invisible to their busy lives. He mowed grass with precise patterns, planted flowers in carefully planned arrangements, pruned trees with expert technique, cleaned walkways until they gleamed. He never talked much, didn't chat with anyone extensively, just quietly did his work with a dedication that went unnoticed. The university administration was very pleased with Marcus. In 20 years, he'd never received a single complaint, never had a workplace accident, never missed a day without calling ahead. He was a perfect employee. The campus was always spotless under his care, flowers always vibrant and healthy, grass always perfectly maintained. When board members visited, they always commented on how beautiful the grounds looked, but no one was curious about Marcus's past, where he came from, how he became a groundskeeper, whether he had family, or what he did in his free time. When these questions occasionally came up during staff meetings or casual conversations, Marcus would offer a polite smile and skillfully change the subject. In Marcus's small house on the outskirts of town was a garage, always locked with multiple deadbolts. Inside were old garden toolboxes, seasonal decorations, and old clothes. But in the far back corner, hidden beneath a tarp and secured with its own lock, was a special military-grade chest. The things inside didn't belong to Marcus Rodriguez, civilian groundskeeper, but to Staff Sergeant Marcus Rodriguez, United States Army combat engineer. 25 years ago, Marcus had lived a very different life. He was a combat engineer in the U.S. Army, specializing in the most dangerous aspects of military operations: Afghanistan, Iraq, classified operations in places that didn't officially exist on military maps, bomb disposal expert, mine clearance specialist, improvised explosive device neutralization specialist. His teammates called him Ground Zero, not because he caused destruction, but because he was always the first to go into the most dangerous places to make them safe for others. In retirement, he had wanted a complete change, something as far from his military life as possible. He took landscaping courses at the local community college, studied horticulture and groundskeeping, and settled in Riverside. Life instead of death. Flowers instead of explosives, peace instead of war. For 20 years, he had maintained this new identity perfectly, keeping his past buried deeper than any bomb he'd ever defused. But that Wednesday morning in October, the mask would come off. It was 8:30 a.m. Marcus was carefully watering the prize-winning flower beds near the main administration building. The campus was bustling with its usual morning energy, students hurrying to their first classes with coffee cups and backpacks, professors walking briskly with briefcases, maintenance crews beginning their daily routines. It was a normal, peaceful university day. Suddenly, an announcement crackled over the campus emergency speakers, a system that had never been used in Marcus's 20 years there. All students and staff, emergency alert. A security threat has been detected on campus. This is not a drill. Everyone must immediately enter the nearest building and lock the doors. Remain inside until further notice. Marcus stopped mid-motion, the watering hose still in his hand. In 20 years, he'd never heard such an announcement. The peaceful campus atmosphere atmosphere instantly shifted to confusion and fear. Campus police cars began racing past with sirens wailing, their emergency lights flashing. FBI vehicles followed, along with what looked like specialized bomb disposal trucks. Marcus carefully set down his gardening tools and walked purposefully toward the security center, his old military instincts automatically taking inventory of the situation. At the security center, FBI agents, campus police, bomb disposal technicians, and emergency coordinators had gathered in a tense circle around a mobile command unit. "What's happening?" Marcus asked quietly, approaching the perimeter of activity. "Show your ID," said a young FBI agent sharply, clearly stressed by the situation. Marcus pulled out his university identification card. The agent glanced at it briefly. "Groundskeeper," he said dismissively. "Go to a safe area. Don't interfere with the operation." But Marcus remained nearby, positioning himself where he could listen to their urgent conversations without appearing to eavesdrop. "We received an anonymous tip 40 minutes ago," one senior agent was saying, consulting a tablet. "Caller claimed there's an explosive device somewhere on campus. Could be the library, student center, or engineering building. Caller had specific knowledge of campus layout. Have the bomb detection dogs arrived?" asked another voice. "They're here and working, but it's a large campus. No hits yet. We're looking at a minimum 3-hour systematic search if we do this by the book." "What about the caller? Any trace?" "Burner phone. Call lasted less than 30 seconds. Professional work." Marcus felt alarm bells ringing in his mind, the same internal warning system that had kept him alive through multiple combat deployments. 25 years of specialized training was quietly activating. Bomb placement psychology, timing strategies, target selection methodology. It all came flooding back. "Excuse me," Marcus said, stepping closer to the group. "How long did the campus evacuation take?" The agents turned to look at him with obvious irritation. "Sir, you're a groundskeeper. Please go to a safe area and let us handle this." "I've been on this campus for 20 years, Marcus said with calm authority. "I know every building, every utility tunnel, every access point. I have some thoughts about where someone would place an explosive device for maximum effect." "Are you some kind of bomb expert?" the lead agent asked with barely concealed sarcasm. Marcus paused for a long moment, weighing his next words carefully. 20 years of careful anonymity hung in the balance, but 15,000 lives were at stake. "Yes," he said simply. "Former Army combat engineer, explosive ordnance disposal specialist." At that moment, every conversation stopped. All attention focused on Marcus, as if he had just announced he was from another planet. The lead FBI agent's expression shifted from dismissive to skeptical to intensely interested. "We need to verify your credentials," the agent said. "What's your full name and service record?" "Staff Sergeant Marcus Rodriguez, U.S. Army. Serial number 123-45-6789. 15 years active duty, 3 deployments Afghanistan, 2 Iraq. Specialized in IED neutralization and mine clearance operations." 10 minutes and several phone calls later, Marcus's complete military file appeared on the FBI agent's secure tablet. The man's eyebrows rose as he scrolled through the details. "Staff Sergeant Marcus Rodriguez," he read aloud. 15 years active duty, bomb disposal expert, over 150 successful high-risk operations, multiple commendations. "Why the hell didn't you identify yourself immediately?" "Because I don't live that life anymore," Marcus replied. "I'm just a groundskeeper now. But right now, 15,000 people are in danger." "We need your help," the agent said without hesitation. Marcus nodded once, his decision made. For the first time in 20 years, Staff Sergeant Rodriguez was reporting for duty. Marcus studied the campus map, spread across the command table, his trained mind automatically analyzing sightlines, structural vulnerabilities, and psychological impact zones. "The bomb is most likely here," he said, marking 3 locations with a red pen. "Engineering building is the primary target. Not the library. Too much concrete, limited structural damage. Not the student center. Too many escape routes, limited casualties. Engineering building has the perfect combination: symbolic value, structural vulnerability, and maximum potential for catastrophic collapse." "Why are you so certain?" asked the bomb disposal team leader. Marcus looked him in the eye. "Because if I were placing it, that's exactly where I'd put it." The FBI team immediately redirected their entire operation to focus on the engineering building. Marcus accompanied them, his old tactical instincts fully engaged. As they approached the building, he was already running scenarios in his head. "Basement level," Marcus said as they entered the building. "Main electrical panels, water main connections, structural support columns. A device placed there would bring down the entire building." They descended to the basement level, the bomb detection dogs leading the way. Marcus moved through the space differently than the others, not searching randomly, but reading the environment like a book written in a language only he understood. "There," he said suddenly, pointing toward a section of the basement that house the main electrical distribution panels. Behind that panel, that's where I'd place it. The bomb disposal team moved in with their equipment while Marcus observed from a safe distance. Within minutes, they confirmed his assessment. "We've got a device," the team leader announced over radio. "Large, sophisticated, timer activated. Looks professional. Time remaining." He paused, studying his instruments. 1 hour and 47 minutes. "Can you disarm it?" the FBI agent asked. The technician examined the device more closely. "It's complex. Multiple anti-tamper devices, decoy wires. This is going to be extremely risky." Marcus stepped forward. "May I take a look?" The technician moved aside, and Marcus knelt beside the explosive device. Even after 25 years, his trained eyes immediately recognized the construction techniques, the wire configurations, the trigger mechanisms. "This is an Afghan-style device," he said quietly. "I've seen this exact design before. Same maker, same signature techniques. I know how to approach this." "How?" asked the technician. Marcus was already mentally mapping the disarmament sequence. "Red wire first, but not the obvious red wire. There's a decoy. The real trigger wire is the one with a slight color variation. Then the blue wire, but only after disconnecting the pressure sensor. The yellow wires are all fake. Ignore them completely." Working with steady hands that showed no trace of tremor despite the stakes, Marcus began the delicate process of neutralizing the device. 25 years melted away as his training took over completely. Each wire cut was deliberate, each movement precise. 45 tense minutes later, Marcus severed the final connection. The timer display went dark. The threat was over. The FBI agent looked at Marcus with something approaching awe. "You just saved thousands of lives." "I just did my job," Marcus said, already mentally transitioning back to his civilian identity. "But you're a groundskeeper." Marcus smiled, a genuine expression for the first time all day. "I'm both a groundskeeper and a bomb disposal expert. Both identities are real. Both matter." The campus was declared safe within the hour, and students began returning to their classes. Marcus also returned to his gardening work, picking up his watering hose exactly where he had left it, as if the last few hours had been nothing more than a brief interruption to his normal routine. But now everyone looked at Marcus differently. Students who had never acknowledged his existence before now stopped to greet him respectfully. Faculty members who had walked past him for years now made eye contact and said hello. The transformation was subtle but unmistakable. Little Emily, a junior education major who often studied on the benches near Marcus's flower gardens, approached him the next day. "Marcus, are you a real hero?" Marcus knelt down to her eye level, something he had done countless times when students had questions about the plants he tended. "No, Emily, I'm just a groundskeeper. But sometimes, groundskeepers also protect people, not just flowers." "But you disarmed that bomb. Everyone's talking about it." "Yes, because I knew how to do it from my previous job. But my most important work is still right here, keeping this campus beautiful and safe, making sure you have a peaceful place to learn and grow." Emily smiled. "Then you're a hero every day, even when nobody notices." Marcus smiled back. Emily was absolutely right. Every day, he protected the campus in his own way, beautified it, kept it functioning. That was also heroism, just quieter and less dramatic. That night, when Marcus returned home, he opened his locked garage for the first time in months. He looked at the old military chest, touched the bomb disposal tools that had gathered dust for decades. For 25 years, he'd tried to forget them, to leave that part of his life completely behind. But he realized something important. He had never actually forgotten those skills. He had just found new ways to use the same core mission. Before, he cleared mines and disarmed bombs to save lives. Now he cleared weeds and planted flowers to create life. Both were forms of protection. Both were about making the world safer and more beautiful. Both mattered. When Marcus came to work the next day, he noticed a small change on campus. A new sign had been placed next to his prize flower garden. "This beautiful campus has been protected and beautified by Marcus Rodriguez for 20 years. Thank you, Marcus." Marcus smiled as he read it. Students walking by now looked at the sign, then at him, and offered friendly waves. He was no longer invisible, no longer taken for granted. But for Marcus, the most important thing hadn't changed. He was still protecting the campus, still planting flowers, still serving his community in the way that felt most natural to him. Marcus Rodriguez's story is also the story of thousands of invisible heroes working quietly all around us. Groundskeepers, janitors, security personnel, maintenance workers. They also protect, They also serve. They also make our world function. At Riverside University, there's no longer just a groundskeeper. There's a guardian, someone who protects both flowers and people, who carries both past and future, who proves that service takes many forms. This is Marcus's story, but it's also all of ours, because we all have skills learned in the past that we can use differently now, in whatever way serves others best. Do you know people like Marcus, those who serve quietly, who hide their pasts, who are humble but extraordinarily capable? Show them respect, notice them, learn their names, because sometimes the greatest heroes are those doing the most ordinary jobs. And Marcus Rodriguez shows us that protection always remains the same. Only what you protect changes. If this story touched you, please share it. Don't forget invisible guardians like Marcus, because they're there for us every day, quietly, making sure our world stays safe and beautiful.